you guys really enjoyed that. I hope you took some notes. Maybe you're following along. If you guys do end up, using Dr. Henry's recipe, or if you check out her book and use any other recipe she has, make sure to post that, tag her, tag us. We'd love to see, what you're cooking during quarantine and post-quarantine after. Obviously, these recipes still work for after you're out of the house too. And we also just wanted to make sure we noted that for anyone who's watching on the live stream, you can also still register for the conference itself, because when you do register, there's just a couple more perks. We're going to be doing giveaways, things like that, so you have access to that. If we send the attendees any other information on the speakers, you'll have that if you want to join in, so you can actually chat in the conference chat instead of online where the speakers might not be able to see it. So there are a couple more perks to that. So if you're on the live stream right now and you still want to register for the conference itself, make sure you do that so you have access to these other things. And I'm just so excited after that panel. Yeah, as my mom said, I asked to not have a meal plan, and I think it worked out. I did eat more than pasta, but I did eat a lot of pasta, and it was enjoyable. So I'm not mad about it. I'm gonna just play a couple more ads, and vendor ads for people who decide to be vendors for our conference and sponsors. And I will make sure to then introduce our next speaker after that. But I hope you guys enjoyed Dr. Henry and that you're staying tuned for the rest.
No problem. I'm doing a live. Navarro's been the guy, by the way, who's just a genius when it comes to this kind of stuff, who's been saying, please do more live. So between him and Adrian, we're ganged up and we're going to make it happen.
That's that.
All praises to the sunshine and the creator of the day. And I want to thank my friend Navarro Wright, who got me straight on my technology yesterday.
The cooking one.
So before we start the next speaker, I just want to give you guys some more time to just share a bit about what you've been doing during the quarantine, things you've been doing to have some fun, to relax, anything like that. Feel free to put that in our chat. And you guys obviously feel free to interact with each other. We'd love you guys to connect during this conference. We'd love for you guys to still Connect Post Conference as well. So feel free to just talk a bit about, oh, you learned oh my gosh, Chelsea, okay, wait. I know you're not doing Beychella today, but that might be something else that happens, maybe one-on-one with me. I want to learn that entire routine. So please tell me that you'll teach that in a class. That's amazing. I will definitely hit you up about that. That's awesome. And is anybody else learning any new things, any new skills, any choreography, any TikTok dances? I am. If anybody has anything like that, obviously feel free to share. We just would love to hear about a bit about what you're doing and how you're staying active and just having fun while we're in the house. Because, you know, there's still so much out there to do. Quarantine doesn't mean you have to stop having a good time. So we definitely want to hear what you're doing. Oh, bass guitar, that's so cool. I always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. I don't know how to play any, but hopefully maybe I can order something during quarantine, and then post-quarantine we can have a little jam session. We'll see what happens. That's awesome. But did you do the recorder? Oh, I did do the recorder in elementary. That does count. Thank you for that, Chelsea. I'm gonna agree with that. I did do the recorder in elementary school. I was really bad though, but I did do that. So I'm gonna count that. And I play an instrument actually. So before we start, I'm just gonna introduce our next speaker. Her name is Renee Berry, and she is a writer. She's also a mother, and she is an author. So you can find her at Style Skinny on social media. She's a writer, published author, and blogger who loves the creative world of kidlit, children's picture books, and motherhood empowerment. And besides writing, she also enjoys reading, cooking, spending time with her family. And if you want to find more of her, you can actually follow her on Instagram at Style Skinny or connect with her on Facebook. And today she will actually be leading a writing workshop, which I'm really excited about. And I hope you guys, take away a lot from that. I think writing is also a great thing to be doing during this quarantine, a great way to keep yourself busy. I've also been writing. I've been journaling a lot too, which is, another great form of writing, just to put everything you're feeling out there on paper. So right when she connects, I'm just gonna pass on over to Renee so she can start the workshop. And I am going to turn my mic and camera off.
Okay. Can you see me? You can't see me yet. How about now? Are we good? Yes, perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Carol, for that great introduction. I am so happy to be here today with you guys to talk to you and give you some tips on creative writing and give you some tips that will hopefully help you guys get started on a creative writing project during this time of isolation and quarantine. I have known the Wright family for a really long time, so I was so excited, and I'm still so thankful and grateful for Rita and Carol for inviting me to do this today. And again, I'm excited. So let's get right into it. I am sure that you guys have written something creative in the past, and some of these tips that I want to share today may seem basic, but during this time I have found personally that going back to the basics is helpful. So I am going to share my screen with you guys, and then as the previous presenters have done, I guess afterwards, we can do questions, or if you want to put the questions in the Q&A, hopefully I'm not too techie, but hopefully I'll be able to talk and answer the questions at the same time. So let me scare, desktop one. Yes, I would like to share my screen with Zoom. Why is it not letting me do this? Any idea, Carol, why I'm unable to share my screen? Let's see. Sorry, guys, having a little bit.
No worries. I think, do you see the green button at the bottom?
Yeah, and it's saying desktop, but it's saying allow. Oh, hold on, I have to go into system preferences.
You might have to allow. Oh, okay, gotcha. You have to give it access.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I had this set up.
Just let me know.
Yeah. It's not letting me do this. I may need to call my personal tech person. i.e. my husband, to fix this. He's coming up. My apologies.
All right. Okay, no worries. No, it's fine. We're online and everyone's home. We understand. We were having tech problems ourselves and we're running it, so there's no problem at all.
Yeah, I need help. Can you come in? Sorry, he's not dressed appropriately for this.
What's up?
I can't get my screen to share.
Well, what is going on? What?
I clicked the share screen button and it didn't share.
All right, hold on.
Click that, see? I want to share desktop one, but it's, can you put share? Click that and see if it works. Open system preferences. But then I did it and it doesn't. Can you click on Zoom? Click on that, maybe that'll work. Okay, quit now.
No.
But that's gonna make me leave the meeting. Maybe I'll just have to do it without it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you would.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know why I would. Bam.
Can you see my screen now? No, they can't though.
Yeah, we can see your screen. You just if you just
Oh,
yeah,
Go back to your
go to your
bring those
PowerPoint
other
and just make it
windows.
like big.
There you
yep. Okay.
I got my Navarro right on, baby.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I apologize in advance. So you guys can see my screen. You see pictures of me and my family?
Yep, for
Yes,
sure.
awesome. Okay. So I have my notes because, again, I am a writer. I'm not a speaker typically. So let me get myself set up again. Okie dokie. Okay, so as Carol said, I am a writer. Excuse me. I went to Lehigh University. I majored in English, but I also majored in graphic design with the intention of using that graphic design degree. I had no intention of using my English degree, but I'm so glad that I got it because now that I'm a little bit older, I love writing. I have developed my love for writing, and that English background has really helped me. I have one published children's book. It is called Here Comes the Rain. I'll post that link for you guys later, so hopefully you can check it out. And I have 2 books coming on the way, hopefully to be completed by the end of the year. I wanted to show you pictures of my kids and my husband, who you actually unfortunately just saw. Wasn't my intention, but that happened. Yes, this is who I write for and typically what I write about. And again, later on, I will talk about why that's important to know who you're writing for and what you're writing about. So let's see here. Okay, so creative writing lessons, 5 top tips to get you started while quarantined. So these are tips that, like I said, they're basic tips that I have gotten along my journey. And they are to help you to get started on a project. So if you have been waiting forever to start on a poem or a fiction book or even like a memoir story about your life, these are some tips that will help you to get started in this new world of being kind of just locked in your house. So the first thing is to write. So sounds very predictable, obvious piece of advice. I know. If you want to be a writer, just write. But often the notion of just beginning is overlooked. And typically it's because it's hard to start and it's hard to tackle something like a full book at first. So by actually starting to write and putting ideas on paper, that typical pen to paper notion, it will get your creative juices flowing. As sentences turn into paragraphs, characters will begin to develop and your ideas will come, and ideas that you might have otherwise not had before. So again, I suggest you start small when you start to write. You probably have social media and you post photos. So an idea that I like to do is instead of writing like a one-liner under a photo that you post, why don't you try to develop that a little bit more? Maybe write a paragraph or a short story, like really get into that photo that you're posting, and that could kind of start getting your juices flowing to write. You can go online and get writing prompts. That sometimes is very helpful, but I just personally don't really like writing prompts. I like to just kind of get ideas, start writing, and have my own brain and my own ideas start to flow. That kind of leads me to something else, finding a place to write. Now, typically, even right now, I have my cup of chai tea, but you could usually find me in Starbucks. That is my preferred place to write because I have coffee, have my drink, I have quiet, and I can just start to go. However, we're stuck in the house right now, so you have to be creative. And maybe you guys want to write in the comments or in the chat section some places that you like to write that's in your house, but I'll list a few. I live in the city, so I don't really have a backyard per se, but I have a front stoop and I like to go out there sometimes and write. I have a little section at my kitchen table that I like to write at, front porch, back steps. I have 2 kids, so sometimes I hide in the bathroom. I know all the moms out there, that's our place of hiding to get away from the kids. But you have to be creative and you have to find a place where you can really hone in on your craft and write that you want, a place where you won't be interrupted. And again, it's time to get creative, guys. It's time to really figure out where in your home you can go so that you're not going to get bored looking at the same thing all the time. And you will be able to really write in peace. So the next thing is, let's see here if I can keep a notebook. I find that it is super important for you to have a place to jot down your ideas. Much like writing in general, this helps you to develop your ideas and quickly write down notes to help you remember ideas that can eventually possibly turn into a character or a story idea. Many writers that I know use a notebook or a journal. I personally prefer to use the notebook or the notes app on my iPhone. I constantly have my phone with me, and I may not always have a notebook or something to write with. And I really don't like my handwriting. I know that sounds weird, but I don't like how my handwriting looks. I prefer to see like the letters on my keyboard or my phone, and I think it looks neater and I'm able to keep things more succinct. So yeah, keep a notebook or or use your preferred method of recording, and this will help you remember things. So later on, when you get to writing, you'll be able to keep everything kind of in order and grasp ideas and turn them into important things for you. Just like you keep your photo album. You might not post everything. You might not post every photo on social media when you take it, but you'll go back and look at them and think, oh, I can use this now. So the next thing is to read. I actually have I don't know if you can see it. I'm in my bedroom right now and I have my bookshelf behind me filled with tons of books. I feel like reading is so important if you are a writer. It's important in general, especially if you have children. I'm a big advocate for promoting reading within children at a young age. It'll help you as you grow up. But right now, you have the time to read. And when I say read, I mean anything. It could be a magazine, it could be a book with physical pages, or it could be an audiobook. I am super into audiobooks right now. I have been for quite a while. There's the Audible app. There's audiobooks. That's another app. But, you know, reading is so important, and it helps a lot. So I am particularly inspired by biographies and autobiographies, excuse me, because that's kind of in line with the kind of writing that I do. I write, like I said, I write a lot about my family. I showed you guys who I write for in the first slide. And I feel like that me reading how other writers portray their lives in print helps me develop my own craft. And I'm able to get ideas. Now, some may say that reading in the genre that you write in may be not so good for a writer because you don't want to end up copying that author. But I mean, I think that everybody copies somebody to a certain extent. And if you're talking about your own story, there's no way to really copy somebody because it's coming out of your own brain. So reading, again, is extremely important. And right now, you most likely have the time. Even if you had kids, you can wake up a little bit early in the morning, get a good book in. Me, Carol, and Rita, we often talk about the books that we're reading, and it is a great starting point or talking point with friends. And I know right now that people are even starting virtual book clubs. I attended a virtual book club meeting last month, and I think we read Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. And it was great because we did a Zoom meeting and we talked to, we had someone monitor the whole thing, but we were able to talk about the book. And that's something fun to do while you're kind of stuck in the house all day. So read. Let's see here. So yes, so next in your process of writing during the quarantine session is to set yourself a target goal. Does that mean that I saw something up here? Does that mean I have a question? Okay, I will definitely answer the question, but after that, after me not being able to even get in to share my screen, I don't want to get out of sharing my screen because then I'll never be able to get back to sharing my screen. So I will definitely answer the question later if it is a question. Okay, so we're at set yourself a target goal. Again, a simple concept, but so very important. As I said before, I am currently finishing, I'm in the process of finishing two new children's books that I started last year. And even last year, I had a goal to finish, but I was kind of taking my time. But now that I'm stuck in the house, I feel like I have a lot more time and I could really set a target goal on finishing these books and having them out, even if it's just on Kindle, by the time this whole shenanigans ends. So your goal can be as simple as, you want to write and finish a poem by the end of this week, or it could be something more so long-term, like you want to finish writing a chapter or 6 chapters of your new sci-fi novel, or I don't know, some of you, creative writing is tons of things. It's not even necessarily writing a book. You could be writing a movie script or a new show idea. I find that really an interesting path to go on that I hadn't thought about that until this year. I enjoy the show Insecure, and I thought, wow, somebody had to write this content. Like, this is an awesome idea to be stuck in the house and just create a whole TV show. I mean, again, you probably have the time, and creative writing could be anything. It could be a book, a poem, a movie script. Like I said, it could be a ton of things. So set yourself a target goal. Give yourself, make it SMART, as they say, give it a timeline, give it an ending, be very specific on what you want it to be, and that will truly help you. That's probably one of the biggest things out of the 5 that I feel is important in starting a creative project during this time. Let's see. Keep the faith is my last point in this 5-point series. Keep the faith. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself. This is so important. For many years, I knew I liked to write and I would write, but I just you know, I didn't think that this is something that I could do professionally. You know, I didn't think I could actually publish an actual book. And then one day I just was like, you know what? I got the time. Let me just try and do it. Now, obviously, this was before I had kids, so I actually did have time. But now, you know, I realize I can do it. But I realize I can do it. Now, I'm sure you have other people around you that will encourage you, but you know, if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? You have to believe in yourself. You have to keep your faith that you can do this. And I just said something that kind of reminded me of something that you can feel free to ask questions on. Now, we just talked about writing during this segment, but feel free to ask me questions about publishing, because that was something that I didn't have. That was a main point of me not having faith in myself. I didn't think that I could publish a book because I didn't know anything about it. I thought that I had to, well, I mean, I could have done this, you know, write letters to different editors and to get noticed, and I had to have a ton of money and all that stuff, but I ended up self-publishing, which please feel free to ask me questions about self-publishing, how I did it. I can explain to you during our question and answer session, or you can feel free to email me, because I have a lot of experience with self-publishing. I've been to a few conferences, and I feel like just from doing it and keeping the faith in myself, I have discovered a lot of different things about getting your book out there. And I do quite often answer peer questions, and, you know, friends that are calling me to see, you know, I want to write a children's book. They say, I already have written a children's book, but I don't know how to publish it. I don't know how to get an illustrator. I don't know how to do these things that seem so like undoable, like the people can't do, but I have done it before, and I can certainly answer any questions that you have about that. So feel free to ask me questions concerning that. But again, you know, keep the faith, and you can do it. So again, you know, just start writing, and the ideas will flow. Always write. You know, keep your journal or keep a place to write your ideas and your notes in, because these are super important. Always read different things to, again, help inspire you and to even entertain you during this quarantine time. And set a target goal. Again, have a time frame. Make sure that you have a goal set for yourself, even if it's a small goal. And again, lastly, keep the faith that you can do this, and you totally can. I am here to inspire you and to help you out as well. So I'm sure Carol put my information somewhere in here, and we can go from there. Carol,
Yeah.
did I go too long?
No, you didn't go too long. I was going to say, you still obviously definitely have time. I was going to say if people had questions, ask them. But since you did bring it up, I was wondering if you could just touch a bit about that self-publishing process and like
Absolutely.
getting your book from, you know, just having you writing it to actually getting it out there. Just a bit.
Yes. So ironically, I wrote my book. It was a poem that I first wrote while I was at work. I was just at work. I had a little bit of free time. I wrote the poem, and then literally I got laid off like the next month. And it kind of feels like now, you know, because I actually got laid off. I work in the hospitality industry. That's my day job. And of course, hospitality workers can't thrive if there's no one to stay at the hotel. So I was laid off, and I started the process of just Googling, how do I publish a book? I have the time now, much like I have the time now. And I came across an actual local company called Book Baby. Again, if you want to just Google bookbaby.com, they are actually located in Pennsauken, New Jersey. So they're a full service book publishing company. They also do, I believe they do like audio work. So you can, if you are a musician and you want to make an album, they assist you with that as well. Again, located in Pennsauken, and you can go on the website, and they will literally, it will walk you through every point. So I got my ISBN number through them. Now, again, I am a trained graphic designer, so I was able to put my book together on my own. In terms of that, I hired an illustrator to do that. But if you cannot do anything, if you have no skills at all except for your actual writing, BookBaby will literally guide you through everything. They will help you get an illustrator if you need one. They will help you get your ISBN number, and that will put you into the library system so people can find your book. Not only that, but they can set you up so that you can sell your book on major platforms like Amazon. And these are places that my book is available on, online at Amazon, Barnes and Noble. There's a couple of bookstores that are down in the southern states that we don't have up north, but it's available online through them. But again, Amazon for self-publishing is a huge outlet for people to sell their books at. So I went through BookBaby, and I even printed my books on through BookBaby, and because it's local to, Carol and Rita in my area, I was able to go there and pick up the books as opposed to paying for the shipping price, etc. So I would definitely check out BookBaby.
And we actually had a question from Lauren Williams. She was just a bit curious about how you actually found your illustrator. And if you could, if you had your book near you or anything, if you could show like some of your work, if you do have it.
I don't have my book with me, and that is my fault. I apologize. I can give you a link to the Amazon page later on, but I just don't have a physical copy. And I don't have a physical copy because, I won't lie to you, it is a little bit expensive to print unless you print in bulk. But the good part about BookBaby is they allow you to do something called print on demand. You will, if you see it online, people call it POD, and that just means you, Carol, can go on to my bookshop page, purchase the book. BookBaby will print one copy and send it to you, so that I don't have to have a ton of inventory on hand. Now, it is good to have some inventory on hand so that you can do book shows and book fairs and, sell at the back of your trunk if you want to, but I don't have the time necessarily to do all that. So that's why I don't have the book available. But print on demand is a huge, it will be very, very helpful to someone that is just starting to sell their book.
Okay. Yeah. And when this is over, you can put in the chat like a link to your book, just so
Yes,
you know where to go.
absolutely. It is a children's book. And then I want people to kind of keep in contact with me anyway, because of my next 2 books coming out. I would really love to share that with everyone, and keep up with me so that when it comes out, you guys can be the first people to kind of get the link to purchase it, or I might do some giveaways and give away a few copies and things like that. So but what was the question? You did ask me a quick question.
Yeah, she was just curious how you actually found your illustrator for the book.
Yes, my illustrator. So I have 3 separate illustrators, and none of them live in the States. I went to a website called Upwork, and now I use a website called Fiverr. And those websites are specifically geared towards freelancers. And you can go on there and find freelancers for anything. I hired somebody to edit my book, a freelance editor. And then I hired all of my illustrators from these websites, which again, I can put the links down below for those editing, for those websites, excuse me. And it's awesome because you can see illustrators work from all over the world. Like I said, my first illustrator is, she's not, oh my gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head where she's from, but I have an illustrator that is from Spain. One is from Russia. My latest one lives in Russia, and we work through the website. So you can pay them through the website so it's safe, or you feel more comfortable paying them through the website. They use it as like a project. So when you start a project, then all of the information, all of the files, you upload them to that website, and then you and your illustrator, or you and your freelancer, can see your project and all the information and share back and forth through the website. So that's literally how I got all of my illustrators. I never met them before. I have never met any of my illustrators before, but now they're almost like family because we've worked together on all these projects. And it's really awesome. I definitely suggest Fiverr. It's Fiverr, 2 R's. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could be wrong.
No, that's yeah, that's perfect. I think it's really helpful. It looked like Lauren was saying her husband actually is a writer, so she wants to check out Book Baby and see what happens with that. So that's really exciting.
And you know what? Can I make another point about these freelancing websites? During quarantine, it is probably the best advice I have is if you have a talent, it could be writing like your viewer's husband, it could be editing, even if you've never done it before, go on to these websites and sign up as a freelancer so you can make some extra cash. You know, you can go on there and like I have an English major, like I said before, so I could technically go on there and show some of my work. It even allows you to take some tests on there so that you can be you can be verified as an official freelancer, and you can ghostwrite books for people. It's crazy. People want you to ghostwrite books for them. You can do graphic work if you have ever had experience doing that. You can even do voiceovers. It's a great way during this quarantine season to make some extra money being a freelancer yourself.
That's awesome. And we also had another question. I know you self-published, but someone was asking, do you know like the easiest way to get a publisher? And since you did self-publish, maybe they could check out Book Baby, but do you know any other great ways to find a publisher for your book?
To find a publisher, I don't know. For me, it's something that I have kind of tossed back and forth because, of course, if you get a publisher, you know, you may be able to print a lot more copies of your book. You may be able to get your physical book in different stores. Now, I sell my book online through Barnes & Noble, but you might not necessarily be able to go to a bookstore and pick up a copy of it. So that's another great thing that having a publisher will do. But I feel as though, for me, self-publishing is kind of the current avenue that I want to go on because I have more control over what my book says. The illustrator, I can pick my own illustrator. But yeah, some great ways to meet publishers is to go to conference. There are conferences that cost money and there's tons of free conferences. And I feel like you can go to these conferences and you meet a ton of people. There's a ton of editors and just people there in the industry that you can kind of connect with, and they'll lead you in the right direction in terms of writing letters to publishers to get your book out there. But I will let you know this, it will take some time. It's not an overnight process where for me, I really wanted to get my book out there. It was a creative project for me, and you can literally do it overnight if you self-publish.
Yeah, that's true. And I also just want to point out, I really loved, and so did my mom, what you said about, making target goals, just because that's something that not even just for writers, it's for everyone. And it's something I feel like people can really be focusing on right now is figuring out what those goals are. So then when we're allowed to get back out of the house and go back out there, you know what you want to accomplish, the things you want to tackle. So I think that's just a really important piece of advice for people to hopefully take away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, me personally, I always kind of had not issues, but I had problems, setting my goals. But once I write them down, kind of hold yourself accountable, and maybe even tell another person about them. Maybe just tell a friend, hey, I really want to complete this project that I'm working on. Can you just check in with me on like the 13th to see, or the 15th, or just shoot me a text so that, so you can hold me accountable for this, so that, we can work together and I can make sure that I get to my goal.
No, that's awesome.
Just want to say hello. And I know you gave the reason why you don't have your book, but I'm going to have to chastise you a little bit. I expect you to have that book in the house.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Rita? I I think I might actually have it, but I don't want to leave my post.
Oh, no, please don't. No.
Yeah,
And I thought we had them, but I think I gave them as gifts.
Well, here's the thing, you know, so I don't know if you guys
It's a
know.
beautiful book, people, beautiful. I just have to put that out there.
So let me just say one thing about that. So I had a ton of books on hand. I did. Then I don't know if you guys know Emily Giffen. She wrote Something Borrowed. Let me go grab it.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Those are the books you're going to use.
So she wrote Something Borrowed and Something Blue and a bunch of other amazing books. She's my favorite author. And I actually connected with her on social media, which is another point that people should know. A lot of your favorite authors have Instagram pages, and they are just like waiting to speak with new authors. So I connected with her and we developed a relationship, and she ended up putting a link to my book on her Instagram stories. And after that, I literally sold out of everything. Like it was insane. Like she put it on because she has obviously way more followers than me, and she knows way more people. And she put on her stories, "Hey, follow Renee, purchase her book," and it was a wrap. I had nothing. So, but I do keep a couple of like copies, obviously, for myself, but I don't even know where they are.
It's okay. We'll let you slide this time.
But I promise I will show my book. You're going to test. I know my husband's going to come upstairs and be like, "Where's your book? I can't believe you didn't have your book."
We will make sure to share it, at least, so people will definitely go and to link and get their copy, I'm sure. So.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope I still have any. I literally completely sold out. But again,
well, that's awesome.
I mean, she's awesome too. So please pick up her books too. She has something new coming out. But go online and connect with people. People got nothing but time right now.
Awesome.
That's
you
perfect.
got that right.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Renee. It was awesome.
Thank you, Renee.
Oh, thank you. And again, I will go in the chat box. I guess, Carol, when you switch me over to being a viewer, then I can write some. I can write some stuff in the chat, and then I really would encourage people to just shoot me an email if you have any questions about publishing, about BookBaby, about just writing in general. Just shoot me an email or connect with me on Instagram because I'm always on there. You guys know.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, so after you like unshare your screen and everything and you go to an attendee thing, you'll be able to see the chat and everybody. You can connect with people on the chat individually if you need to, as a group, all of that. So.
Okay, wait a minute. You've been able to see me though, right? Or have you?
I can see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh.
One last thing. Can you talk about the book club?
Oh, the book club that I attended? Or just a book club in general?
Yeah, thinking about leading a book club or...
Yeah, so book clubs are awesome. I mean, this is the perfect time to either find a book club or to start your own book club. Now, I think you should definitely...
Oh, you're all good. We can still...
Oh, I'm good. You see me? Okay, yeah. So I was like, something changed. So yes, I definitely think this is a great time to start a book club amongst your friends because it is just... I don't want you guys to see my dirty clothes. Yeah, it's a great time and you can Zoom talk about it. So pick a great book. I mean, again, I'm into like biographies and just everything. Just chick lit, which is just kind of what Emily's books are about. But pick a book, get a group of friends, start reading, tell people they can get the audiobook too. And I believe audiobooks are either Audible, I think it's Audible, will give you a free credit to get a free book when you first sign up. So it is a paid system to get the audiobooks, but your first one is free, I believe. I'm not a spokesperson for them. I don't know, but I would try. And then pick a time, get your drink or your coffee, and set up a time where you guys can have a book club meeting and discuss the book. And now I know some of the authors are even popping into the Zoom meetings. So pick a book, find your author on social media, contact them, say, hey, we're doing a book club Zoom at this time. Would you mind jumping on at the end to answer some questions about the book? They're doing it. I've seen it. So I would definitely do that.
No, yeah, that'd be awesome. That's amazing. Actually, I'm glad you told people that. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Renee. This is amazing. I hope people take your advice to heart. And for all the aspiring writers, make sure to connect with her, and just if you have any more questions, and buy her books. If you guys, if we want to put those links, buy those books. So.
And thank you guys so much for inviting me on this. I really appreciate it. I had a great time, and for doing this in general. We all need some help during this quarantine season.
Yes, we do. I agree. Oh, and yeah, somebody's asking for contact details. So she will.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this right now. I can go on there.
Yeah, she can go right in there when we're done.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Go to the next person. You don't have to wait for me to type because this could be.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I will. Yes, I see all the chats, and I'm gonna give you all my information, and we can connect on all the different platforms.
Awesome.
Bye,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.